Welcome back, guys. Good day to you. Good day, good day, good day. I guess this will be a continuation of our TNT study. Apparently, I wasn't finished with TNT. I still felt like dabbling. So, as you can see, I made a couple of mistakes and whatnot. So, TNT in water is very interesting. Oh, that's not going to be good. I had a mess up already. Oh, Lord have mercy. How are we going to do this? Yeah, I'll just put it right in there. Alright, so TNT in water. As long as it sits in the water, it will not destroy any of its surrounding blocks. It will still harm you, but it won't destroy anything, including redstone. Watch. Do 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 do. Redstone, redstone, redstone. So long as you don't put it on the source block, obviously. What happens is, excuse me. What happens is, when you have the source block covered, it doesn't allow the water to then refresh, because when you activate TNT blocks, they then become, I guess, transparent. I don't know how to explain it. They become, I don't know how, like other blocks can pass through them. So they could pass through themselves, and they stack, which is also an interesting feature. But that also allows the water that you have to flow through them, deadening the blast. So here we go. And it didn't destroy anything. That's a wonderful thing. So I set up a couple of concepts. You know, I got that. There it is. It's on. Doesn't destroy anything. Same thing here. We just test that out though. So I got to building a couple of things, and I had a lot of failures, but I found out a lot of interesting things. Online, on YouTube, if you look up TNT Cannon per se, in Minecraft, everyone is building something similar to this. They have a line here, and they have you know, the water going through because it deadens the blast, and it's surrounded with obsidian, and it shoots really far. So something to this effect. Okay, something like that. We got all the obsidian down here. When you hit the button, it just kind of moves it, you know, it activates everything. So let's do this. Let's do this. So we're not covering our little source block over here, because remember, when you activate it, this source block then gets to flow through all of these freely. And it leaves just enough time to flow all the way to the front. I'm going to show you guys how to build this also. Here and here, those are our projectiles. Okay, hit the switch. Watch the boom. Hey-o! Pretty cool, huh? Pretty nifty. Pretty sweet. But there are a couple things I found out about this model, and I'll show them to you right now. So I decided, you know what? if water deadens the blast, then why does everybody need to use obsidian? Doesn't make any sense. Seems like a real waste of resources. Not really a waste of resources because they really can't do much with obsidian yet. I don't know what they have planned for it besides making portals and indestructible blocks. But it's a lot. I mean, consider how much time this would take to mine this much obsidian with a diamond pick. I mean, it would take a really long time, especially if you didn't have an enchanted pick. So I figured, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to build one out of cobble. See how that works. And you're looking at this one now and you say, well, Tom, seems like a damn failure. Well, I beg to differ. This was actually a mistake I made. And what happened was I hadn't completed this model yet, so I had put TNT on the outer rings over here. Okay, and I have this one here. Alright, this is the projectile, and these ones become activated. If you notice, when I did it before, I only went out to here. Alright, what happens is when these activate, TNTs have a tendency to jump a couple of pixels. And when they jump and they get jarred a couple of pixels, they tend to offset and fall in places where you may not necessarily want them to fall. So this one on the top here was actually jarring enough where it was falling on top of here. And it wasn't sitting in the water, and it exploded on both sides. It happened, and we got that. That's why we have that. So I tested it out again, knowing my exact design. I finalized it and really tested it out and make sure that, you know, we weren't going to have any problems with jarred TNTs. So I made one out of dirt. I figured, you know what? Let's choose a stage 1 type of block, the weakest type of block. I would have used glass and called this a glass cannon because it would have been cool, but you can't put redstone on glass. So trust me, I tried it. You can't put redstone on glass. And we're going to light this up and check out our results. There we go. They're all loaded. No damage whatsoever. Let's do it with our projectiles. I think I forgot to put the projectiles in. Oh, see, that's a problem. So you can't do that. The bottom row has more TNT in it than these top rows do. Also, you can continue this up as high, really as high as you want, or as high as the redstone is willing to allow you to go, without making any major modifications to the design. You could go up as high as you want, but I really found the sweet spot to be 2. Any more than this, and it just really doesn't it doesn't add to the explosion or the distance. There we go again. Those are activated. Blow them out. Booyah. We got a big one. There it is. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me try to build one out of glowstone, because glowstone is like glass, and you could certainly put redstone on top of glowstone, and it'll work. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let me try this out. Let me check it out. So I loaded it all up, got it all ready, pushed the button, and not a damn thing happened. Nothing happened. Well, that's because you need to do that in order for it to activate these. Apparently, glowstone blocks don't act the same as regular blocks when you put redstone on top of it. And there is a beauty in that. And which brings me to my other cannon design, which I don't know if I'd recommend. Let me go to sleep here. I don't know if I'd recommend for a survival map. I may recommend this for a map, maybe maybe online multiplayer with other people, where you have fly enabled, because these are extremely difficult to load up in survival mode. But this is what I would call, I guess, my glowstone cannon. And it's vertical and it's very tall. Glowstone cannon. Basically, you just hit the button and it works. Boom. All the way to the top. And you're saying, Tom, but how's that possible? It doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. You can't put blocks on top of blocks and get it to work. It doesn't make any sense. Because it gets cut off. Well, there's a couple of things you don't know about things. See, it doesn't travel up. Doesn't travel up. Well, not the case with glowstone. Glowstone is one of my favorite blocks because it does this. You're thinking, okay, I put that there, that there, that there. They're all diagonal to each other. So therefore, it's cutting the redstone. Well, not the case. You activate that baby, and guess what? It travels from block to block to block, successfully creating a vertical, compact redstone activation to any place you want it. And that is this concept. That is this concept. It goes all the way up. When the signal gets weaker, I bridge it out, put a repeater in, and bring it back around to the next line. Go up and do it again and up. So let's see how this baby works, shall we? I built this entire thing out of obsidian because I didn't test it out. I just wanted it to work and not to have to rebuild it over and over again just in case. So you hit the button. All the hit right over there. All the TNT comes flying down because it's activated. They go into this one little area over here and push the TNT out, and it explodes. Okay? You think it would shoot further, but it really doesn't. It doesn't really shoot that far. It shoots further if I do this. I take this out, and I'll show you. I guess you could probably fix some ladder to this. What happened here? Oh yeah, that was my test actually. I wanted to see if that would work. And it didn't work. Right, so oh, what am I doing? I'm wondering why it sounds different. Like, why does it sound different? There you go. TNT. And you put 2 projectiles here. Hit the switch. Oh, that's a problem. See, this is why I built this entire thing out of obsidian, because, you know, sometimes we have a problem. Obviously, we're missing a redstone someplace. There it is. That's where it got. I should have checked that first before I did it. Oh yeah, and this here too. This needs a piece of glowstone. These things are very easy to work on. Nice. There you go. Alright, we're good with everything else, right? Yep. Alright. let's reload this again and try again. It's the beauty of Minecraft. Trial and error. All these things work out in the end if you know what the hell you want to do. All you have to know is what you want to do, and then you can figure out how to do it. Ooh. Alright, so now hit the button. We all go in. Did you see where those went? Went real far? I don't know. But yeah, that's how, I mean, what happens is the two of them, I forgot to look, but the two of them go out really far, but they split in half. So you get you get blasts out here and over here. It's very, very difficult to aim. And when you just put one in there, it's a lot easier to aim, but you get a shorter blast distance. That's this concept. Let's move on to my next one. I found out when building these, you don't need to have anything. You only need to have obsidian 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. 6 or 7 up. And you won't blast anything above that as long as all of your TNT sits at the bottom nice and beautifully like that, and nothing bad will happen. This was some kind of weird contraption I was working on, and then I came up with this beast, which is not necessary, but I'll show you why. This works on the same concept, the glowstone cannon, only instead of doing 1, 2, 1, 2, I put 2 glowstones next to it to carry the signal over one more, and used a repeater to, you know, not to mess the lineup. And then when I went up again, I simply just bridged off, used a repeater, and brought it back into itself and continued up again and again. This actually uses more TNT than that toll cannon over there. I think it's just a little bit shorter. There's one very important thing if you decide to build this cannon. These two top ones here. So my earliest design, I had it like this. And what was happening was when these got activated, they got jarred and they got stuck on the edge over here and they were blowing up. So if you're going to build this not out of entirely obsidian, which if you're on survival, I don't recommend you building the entire thing out of obsidian, obviously. The bottom 7 though, bottom layer 7 must 6 or 7. This is, I think, 6. Must have obsidian. Anyways, so this here, you just had to cover that up, and it was fine. But now I have this like this, it's open, and that's fine too. So let's get this loaded up. So instead of 1 on each layer, I can hold 2, which is cool. And this one I had fixed to shoot 1 out because it just was too random. Let's activate. Hopefully we don't have any explosions. Nice. And that's a nice distance. I think because we have more TNT in there than that one. But that's a nice distance, right? Yes. Well, look at this much shorter one. This one here, I think, is a lot better to use in a survival map because it'd be much easier to load up. And I'll show you how to load it up. So these two are always activated. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I'm in survival mode right now. That's our projectile. I go up 1, jump up, destroy that block, bring it up 1, destroy that block, Up one. Destroy that. Up one. Destroy that. You don't need, obviously you don't need to use TNT. You could switch back and forth between a dirt block and that. So, you know, you're not going to be able to recover those blocks. So better not waste the TNT when the blast happens than dirt. Dirt you could deal with, you know, you have stacks and stacks and stacks of dirt that you want to just incinerate. Well, you use it for something like this. Alright, then if you want to go down, you just affix yourself a little ladder on the back over here and you should be fine. You should be good to go. So now that that is loaded, we're going to see how far it shoots. Boom. So we get, I got a couple out here too. Sometimes it shoots right into here, and sometimes it shoots out into here. It's pretty random, but this is the furthest it's ever shot, and this is the shortest it's ever shot. Let me go to sleep. Yep, so that's how that works. This was a complete failure of mine. What are you gonna do? Trial and error. Trial and error. That's what this entire game is about. So back to this cannon. Let me show you how to build it. It's quite simple actually. I'll build this one out of cobblestone. I guess since you already know, you can build it out of dirt if you want to. Very simple. So we could dig a trench here. 1, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you dig another trench. Same length. Then you put this in the middle and just encase those two lines in whatever stone you feel like using, like so. One goes there like that. I usually like putting one out over here. You don't need to, but I do. Redstone goes on it to this block, like that. Just put the water in. Yeah. Yeah, because water travels 8. Alright, so then when doing this, we'll put one here. And then we're going to skip one. And then we're going to line this all the way to there. And put one there and one there. Why the empty spots, you say? Why the empty spots, Tom P? Well, because we're going to put repeaters there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeaters go in the center. And they all get full tick. All pumped to full. So when you click the button, turns on, sets the repeaters, and activates your projectiles. So let's give her a test, shall we? Push the button, go to save distance, and there you go. That is your basic, easy peasy cannon, low resources. Whoa, what was that? Low resources cannon. Building another layer on this. Well, you just follow the same design, only you leave off the last square and you cover it up, because you don't want to get confused and put a piece of dynamite there and it falls down and goes into your right into your source block there and kind of ruin your day a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Especially since you're not using obsidian, to make this. Or if you are, then do whatever you want. Well, if you are actually, you know what? If you are using obsidian to build this, and you don't use water, you'll blow away all the redstone and the repeaters to destroy them all. So this design is absolutely necessary to use redstone. We're gonna build another layer. I'll show you how to do that too. Top layer is exactly the same. Okay, as the second layer. Alright, let's wire this bad boy up. We only need to go to there. We're going to put a repeater here. Otherwise the signal will get lost. It's not long enough. There you go. Let's do this again. Make sure your repeater is heading the correct way. You know, signal's coming from here, so it's shooting up here and then going this way. So you always want to make sure that your repeater is heading in the right direction, otherwise it won't work. Alright, now we need to jump. We need to jump it up. And there are a few easy ways to do it, but this is really the simplest way. This goes up one, connects it. Boom. Okay, and then this. One out here, and one out there. Make sure you destroy this block. Make sure you destroy this block when you're creating it. Otherwise, it won't work. Top layer won't light. Destroy that. Oh yeah, there you go. Light, yay. Okay, we're just jumping the signal up another layer. Now it all works. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Take your abundant amount of TNT, because we all have abundant amount of TNT. Not really. You can load this easy in survival, because you can reach up to here if you're standing here. So all you need to do is fill this bottom layer here, and you're good to go. Alright, we got our projectiles in. The cannon is loaded, and we're ready to fire. Yay! Do it up! Oh my goodness! Oh, that was a good one. Hey, it's a wonderful thing. So you should now know how to build this cannon. It's very easy. Should I show you how to build these? This cannon, let me show you how to build this cannon right here. This one's a bit tougher to build. We'll build it over here. Yeah. Alright. So you put one here. This is just your basic lead-in. We got our glowstone. I'm being wasteful. You shouldn't be that wasteful. But basically, at the end of the day, you want your glowstone to be diagonal. And then we got that. And then we'll put a little button on here. That activates it. Oh, it's beautiful. Alright. So, what we'll do is build up our glowstone tower here. Glowstone electrical works, redstone works, whatever you want to call it. We'll build it up as far as the redstone will take us. So redstone goes 15, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Actually, I don't know if it's going to hit that last one. Let's do a quick check. Yeah, I need repeaters for this. I need that. I don't need water for this. These are waterless. Don't need water for it. And if you do use water, it does go up to that one. Okay, so we're good. So that goes 15. Wonderful. Okay, so that's as tall as we're going to make this cannon. Very simple. Okay, and for our activation, our activated, no, I'm sorry. There we go. One here, one here, one there, one there, like that. And put some redstone here on this one on the edge, and then you put redstone repeaters on that side. Because if you use, you're like, what? Tom, why do I have to use redstone repeaters over there? Well, this is why. Because it just creates a square and it doesn't feed the block you need fed the electrical current or whatever, redstone current. Let's call it redstone current. So we put it there so it doesn't confuse, doesn't cross the lines. Don't cross the streams, Venkman. Don't cross the streams. Alright, so here we go. So I want to let you know how this works. The redstone, you know, it's just a means to bring it up, but when you bring it onto this block, it powers the block directly next to it. I mean, directly adjacent or whatever. So these two blocks here are not powered blocks. They will not set off. They will not. But if I place TNT on this block, it will certainly wreak havoc and destroy everything. So just so you know that every empty space here is where the active block is. So that's where you place the TNT on the other side. Simple concept. So this is our ground layer. All right, and applying everything that we've learned. Everything that we've learned. Let me see. Yeah. So when it goes down, this will lay on this. Everything will lay right here. All the TNT will lay down right in these two spots. Applying everything that we learned. You cannot skimp on the obsidian in this. You cannot. Because remember our little test with obsidian. You know what, let me go take a little rest so that everybody can see. Move this mic a little bit closer to me. And there's my phone blasting off. Alright, let's go to sleep. This is going to be a long video, guys, but you can learn a lot. You learn a lot. Learn how to make some cannons. And if anybody has any other cannons, you know, that they would like to show me in any different ways, please, I implore you, post videos to my videos. I always like learning. I always like my viewers to really see all available options. So what I was going to say was, remember this. Remember the way this worked. If you watched my TNT video prior to this one, you know what happens. We got a big explosion because the TNT goes out of the corners. This obsidian does not encase the TNT fully. So you cannot cut corners here. Okay? So if you build it up like this, okay, all the explosion is going to come blasting out of this corner. It's going to destroy all your redstone wiring, everything. You do not want to do that. You have to make it square. It has to be square. Okay? And you only need to go up 6 blocks. So we're 3, 4, 5, 6, just to be safe. If you make it out of dirt, you may have to go up one more, I believe. But if you're using cobble, you should be safe. You cannot leave these out because it will blow up the ground over here. It may not blow up your redstone, but it'll blow up the ground and make everything look shabby and disgusting. But that's going to be the case anyway, because we're going to have blast damage in the front of this monstrosity. The rest goes up this way. This first layer, you can actually bring it over like that. And this layer, you can bring it over. This is the top layer, the last activated layer. And as I showed you, I like to do that. I like to cover it up, because when TNT is activated, it jostles and it could get stuck up here, and then you have a big problem. So I do that, and usually it doesn't come up over there, it just jumps a little bit, so usually pretty safe. Let's get some more obsidian and block out this one. There's every other one here. Do I want to block out this one? I want to definitely do that. No, we'll do this side this time. Doesn't matter which side. These two are activated, so you could block that one and that one if you like. You don't have to though. I'll just keep it open. I just like these two. Alright, so we're all set. Turn that off. All of it is off. I turn it on. All of it is on. I just use the switch here, this lever, just for testing purposes, so that I know all my redstone is activated. Put 2 there, here, here, 2 here, bottom 2, and 1 out in front for our projectile. And we hit the switch, and we watch the mayhem. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, that felt good. That's a cute little cannon. I call this the Glowstone Cannon, and it's easy to load up to. Oh, I kept it on. Yeah, that's a big problem. That's why. See how far it does do this. So if you really want to cover this entire area with obsidian, you can, but I'm assuming you're going to put this on top of a mountain or on top of a of some sort of structure. Just make sure that you protect that structure a little bit. Just maybe bring down some obsidian down in here, just to protect it. I would put whatever it is, whatever you're putting this on, over to the edge, and you should be safe, and it's good to go. And that ends my video. I believe for now this ends my TNT explorations. I may be revisiting this world at some other point. Maybe if I see some other cannons that interest me, and or maybe I'll do you know what I'll do is I'll do another tutorial for this one. But this is basically, I mean, this is the exact same concept, only the other one is like that, you know. And instead of taking the redstone current from here, I'm taking it from this block that's coming up. So one, you know, it's the exact same concept, only instead of 2 next to each other, they're up diagonal, up diagonal, up diagonal. Now this one's way more difficult to load than the one I just showed you. So, but I'll probably be doing a tutorial for this one too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for learning, and please subscribe and take care.